Hi everyone, welcome to SmugMug Live. Thank you so much for joining us today. SmugMug Live, as always, is brought to you by SmugMug and Flickr. If you are looking for somewhere to store your images, showcase your work, sell your images to your clients and customers, then check out everything we have to offer at smugmug.com. And if you're looking to be part of an incredible photo community, share your work, be inspired, motivate, find an incredible community, then check out flickr.com. Thank you so much for joining us today, wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is episode 53. I'm so excited to bring this episode to you today. We'll be joined very shortly by my dear friend Larry. But for the moment, as always, you can do me a huge favor by hitting that subscribe button. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll be notified whenever we release another episode here on SmugMug Live. And why not give yourself a shout out in the chat window? Let us know what part of the world you are joining from. And if you have a question at any point today, then just post it in the chat. Hopefully some others will get involved, maybe answer it for you, but I'll certainly be asking questions to our guest today. So without further ado, let's head over and see if Larry is with us. Hi, Larry, how are you?
Very well. How are you? Thank you very much, Alistair.
Good to see you. Larry Abitbol, President of Bay Photo. I'm so pleased that you joined us today. Thank you so much. It's been a while since we caught up.
Yes, it has. And we definitely see each other every once in a while at trade shows and so on. And but you're halfway on the other side of the world from where we are.
Yeah, it's a long way to the west coast of the US at the moment. It seems further away every day. So not being at headquarters at the moment, I'm not able to pop over the hill and see you down in at the lab or meet you at trade shows, which is where we normally meet up. But it's good that you've found the time today to join us and give us a little bit of a history of Bay Photo and also talk a little bit about what we do together at SmugMug. I had to go back and check, Larry, to see how long our partnership's been going. Can you remember?
2008.
There you go, 2008. I think we officially launched to our customers right at the start of 2009, but I know we built the integration and stuff. It seems like yesterday, yeah?
Yeah, it does. And I remember the first time that Baldy came over and we spent some time. It took a while to get things up and work with a number of people, but we were really excited at the time. And yeah, it's hard to believe that it's been that long. It feels fast.
It is. It feels like yesterday, although it's more than a decade ago. And when you mention Baldy, obviously Chris McCaskill, one of the founders of SmugMug. Not many people probably know of him as Baldy. Maybe you do. Hopefully he's watching. Hope Baldy's maybe in the chat somewhere. He can give himself a shout out if he's there today. So it's been what, 2009. So what's that? 20 years if you count 2020. It's been a long year.
Well, 30 years if you count 2020. Yes, I guess 12 years. Yes, it's been an interesting year, definitely. And it keeps going, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I thought what we could do is maybe give some people a little insight into the history of Bay Photo. You very kindly shared some images with me, which I'll bring on screen, and we can show the history. But first of all, let's have a little look, Larry, and see who's joining us today, because we've got people from all over the world. We've got Rose is joining us from New Zealand. She says it's a great time for her to tune in. In fact, probably New Zealand's it's probably as close to you as I am, so not that far away. Jim Lafferty is joining us from Canyon Lake in California. Barbara is joining us from New York. There's a wonderful human being joining us today. Leslie Blair Payne is joining us all the way from Washington State, which is a real thrill because Leslie is my big cousin. So, hi, Leslie. Good to see you. Thank you for joining in. She's probably checking up on me. So I better be careful and be polite. My big cousin's in the house. We've got people from Scottsburg in Indiana. There's a familiar name. Suzette Allen joins us. Hi, Suzette. Good to see you. And then we've got some other familiar names. Chelsea is joining us from Scotts Valley. Chelsea's probably in the lab, or maybe should be in the lab. So Chelsea's one of your team there. And who else have we got? We've got a couple of team members in here. We've got Mallory. Daniel Klauser is joining us from La Mesa in California as well. So we've got a lot of people from all over the world, Larry. It's really great that so many people have tuned in to hear a little bit about the history and what's going on. So what I thought I would do is I thought I would share my screen and share some of these images. Does that sound cool?
That's good.
Let's do it. So here's the first image we have. So when did you start Bay Photo?
I got into photography in high school, so that was about 1968, and then pretty much just shots. I did a lot of wedding portrait, landscapes, architectural, and so on. But eventually, I wanted to just travel, and this actually is the first. Well, it's about the fifth darkroom because the rest of them were in houses, but this one was actually in a storage area, and that wall back there is actually a plastic wall actually that we just got it built. So built the tables, print drying racks, you can see there. On the other side on the right, you can see a little bit of the darkroom. So yeah, that feels like just yesterday.
Yeah. What year was this? It says in the file 74. Would that be about right?
Yeah. This had to be around 74, 75. Yeah.
Yeah. And why did you want to get into the print side of photography? If you were busy taking photographs, what made you want to move into the printing?
Well, I always processed my own work and printed my own work, and I liked that end a lot. I liked the technical end, the tinkering end. I love the photo too, but it was difficult to make a living in our little area there, and then people kept on coming to me and say, well, could you do this for me and this for me, since you're doing it for yourself, and I did, and the more I did it, the more I liked it, and then eventually slowly phased out and just stuck with the printing.
Just stuck with the printing. So who was coming to you to get things printed? Was that other photographers in the community?
Yeah. Yes. It was mostly local pros. Steve Kurtz was one of them who eventually took over most of the accounts I had, and some landscape photographers, artists, and so mostly the higher end, advanced amateurs, that sort of thing, and pros.
That's cool. Let's have a look. And then you moved from there. And what is this? Was this the next lab? Was it a mobile lab?
It's funny. That thing used to have a platform at the top, and I think it might have flown off. Anyway, yeah. This is actually in the first lab. That's actually the outside of what you just saw, and that was my '69 VW van. Never really ran very well, but I surfed a lot in those days, and that's the vehicle.
Yeah, not many of them ran particularly well ever. So, but they were amazing vehicles. So yeah, surfing's been a big part of your life, huh?
Yes, I've always loved being in the water, and that's just been really important to me. It just kind of keeps me grounded, and so I surfed until I was nearing 50. Then I started kayaking. So now I kayak. One day I'll get back on a board, I hope. But that's just being in the water has always been calming, and to me that was really the important part. That's why kayaking was I went towards that, just to be in the water at any time, and that was great.
Yeah, keep you by the water, and you've always managed to keep the labs near the water, right? You've always stayed in that Bay Area, Santa Cruz area. Yes,
we've always been in Santa Cruz, so of course the lab was there, and that's a big surfing community, and so it has, and the lab before where we're at now was really near the water, and people enjoyed that. But yeah, we've always been in the water. Of course, we then acquired BRI in 2015, and they're Black River Imaging, which is in Springfield, Missouri. So that's a long way away from the water.
That's when you went international. I'm not going to tell you, this image that we're looking at says 1973. Would that be right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm not going to tell you how old I was then. I was born, but that's about
That's
it.
what I was thinking. So were you even born? I don't
I
know.
think I was one. I think I was 1 year old. Yeah, I was 1 year old by then. So
Oh,
just dating you a little bit.
thanks for
Hey,
that. Just made my day.
well, you still have more hair than me, so there's always that. Who's this fine-looking gentleman? This says it's 1982 in this file.
Yeah. So that building that you saw, that initial one, we eventually took over that whole building. So this is still in that building, and that's Dean, who's a custom printer, and myself looking over some prints. Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's later on. Then after that building evolved, and that it's bigger than it looks. This is like the front counter, but that building really got us going. You know, there were times we had 85 to 100 people in that building.
Right. As staff.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
staff. Yeah,
Wow. It
printing. We went.
doesn't look anywhere near big enough to do that. But
It goes to both ends. Matter of
yeah.
fact, there's some of them now.
Yep. There's a lot of faces there. Do you think are many of your staff still with you from that period?
Just a few,
A
very
few. There are
few.
some.
Yeah, this was 1980.
88. I think it's yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. No, I don't even. Yeah, this is so we also, because we were in Santa Cruz, we also had a couple of retail stores, and this is one of them in Santa Cruz, where people could. There was like 1 hour machines in there, so people could drop off their films. Like the heydays. This must be 90s, in the 90s at some point. And so
Yeah.
we ran routes. So we did mail order, professional wedding and portrait mail order. We ran routes to most of the wedding and portrait photographers up in the Bay Area. We had 3, 4 routes going up there, and that's how we drove the work to the lab along with those retail stores.
Yeah. So when you say routes, you mean literally couriers, like going and collecting the exposed film, bringing it back to your facilities and developing it.
Right.
I
That
remember
way
those days.
yeah. That way they don't, some people are leery about shipping and sending their film through the mail. So we pick up, of course, there was still plenty going on, because in those days, that's the way you had to do it. And there weren't that many pro labs around. So picking up and establishing the relationships with photographers in the entire San Francisco Bay Area, along with the people that ship things to us.
Yeah, I remember those days fondly of the local labs here collecting my exposed film, and then I'd go play golf or something while they did all the hard work of making it look amazing. But I also remember people, when we transitioned to digital, people saying, aren't you terrified of shooting on a digital file and it getting corrupted? And I was like, we used to have one roll of film that we would give to other people, and they would move around with it and transport it and put it in chemicals. Digital's nowhere near as terrifying as doing that.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. Let's see. So this
Well,
is
you were
Santa
saying about us.
Cruz.
You were saying about us doing the hard work. Well, you were doing the hard work. The photographer is the one that does the hard work. So yeah, this was actually kind of a cool thing. That's actually that processor you see there is a Cibachrome processor, which at the time was direct from slides, was the highest level of quality you could obtain. And this was actually, we had little dark rooms, and we'd set them up, the dark rooms, and people could go in with paper that we provided, and they make their prints, stick it in there, and things like 15 minutes later it would come out as a finished print. So it was very, very exciting at that time. I remember where we got that idea. And in that store that actually went to the right, we'd have photo shows in there, and employee photo shows, as well as other photo shows in there. So that was great. It was like a little gallery right downtown Santa Cruz, which was a nice little hub of activity.
Yeah, always part of the community, and I think that's something that has lasted with you all this time. Even now, Bay Photo is a huge part of the photography community, and you can see from your roots where it all started and has continued to this day.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's That's Patrick and me back in the that was at, I believe at an employee photo show opening, and yeah, Patrick is still at the lab and doing a lot of different types of work with us now. So
That's cool. You're saying it's a show and you're just trying to justify why you have a drink in your hand in that image, right?
well, it's punch.
Now, this image, when you shared this image with me, this image, I really enjoyed seeing this image. So this, according to the file, is 2001. So where were you at this point?
Well, digital was coming along. We really didn't know what to expect. So we were like living in both worlds. We had to deal with, kind of abandoning the film while creating digital. And we were somewhat successful because we had a 2,000 square foot space that we could just do digital in a location a few doors away from the old film lab, and we decided, okay, it was time to close everything down and move into a new location. So this is the new location that we moved into. So we moved 3 times in 10 years, which was quite a chore. But by the time we moved into this location, we had abandoned most of our photographic printers and film printers. We still did film processing, C41, E6, and black and white. So there's a number of people in this photo that are still with the team, and a couple that are, at least one is on your team too.
So I've got to zoom in here because obviously here's yourself, but this young lady here will be familiar to many of us in the industry. The wonderful Sarah, who's such an important part of the Bay Photo story. But what really caught my attention was this young gentleman standing behind Sarah is the very wonderful Josh Lawson, who now works at SmugMug and is one of the incredible support team, one of our heroes here, and who still is heavily integrated with the lab. He still is the kind of liaison between ourselves and our partner labs to make sure everything's running smoothly. So hopefully Josh gets to see this live stream and see himself in all the technicolor there. But so Sarah's been with you a long time now.
Yeah, it's 20-ish years. And there's a number of people. There's Joy, who's been here for that long, to her left. And if you look at the gentleman right next to Josh,
yep.
So that's Mike Riccio, and Mike,
this gentleman here?
that cool looking dude, and he ran our film department at the time, and now he has been our leader of our metal department. So he's still there. We always have a good time with Mike, and good, serious guy. Really runs a great crew there while still maintaining that attitude right there.
What's interesting is with all the labs I know around the world, at this point, kind of circa the millennium, round about 2000, and the growth in digital, all the labs around the world were expanding and moving premises, and it seems quite a common theme that as soon as you find a new place to move to, you almost instantly outgrow it, right?
Yeah, and that's what happened with us. Boy, there's a few other people in there. Kim runs our maintenance, and there's Justin. Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of Maria. Yeah, there's a bunch of people in there. Anyway, yes, and we outgrew this before we even moved into it. So pretty much right after we moved into it, we were looking for another building. We could see that digital, so that then we moved to the second place in the 2000s.
Yeah, it's incredible how quickly digital changed the scale and the look and the opportunities that our labs have to offer. Some old marketing images here.
Yeah, on the cover. So that's the next lab we moved to.
This one in the foreground here.
Yeah. So we thought that would be it. Okay, we're good here. And, next thing you know, we were leasing 20,000 square feet, about with a line of sight internet line. It's a microwave, and we had a line of sight for our internet to actually Loma Prieta,
right?
Which is, and eventually was okay. We can't do this, multiple location thing anymore. And this was about 2010, and decided to look, and we, so we made another big move.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is why you need a lot of space, all these machines.
Yes, and that's the inside of that lab you just saw. Yes, there's machinery, people, workspaces. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Busy at work.
So yeah.
Yeah. So this is the new place.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's a new place. This is what we moved into.
And this is typically where I come visit and hang out, and come visit you over the hill from our headquarters in Mountain View. And this is in Scotts Valley, right?
Yes, it's Scotts Valley. We have that. We have a couple of other facilities in the neighborhood for storage, and of course Black River in Missouri.
Yeah.
Let's see that those are two buildings that we connected together. Well, this was a bunch of our leads.
Yeah, so these were two separate buildings, and then you built this kind of roof over the two of them.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful there. It's right in amongst all the redwoods. It's a beautiful part of the world.
Beautiful spot. It was the old Seagate.
Seagate, yeah.
Yeah. We took about a year.
Yeah, I believe when Seagate moved out, they left you this wonderful boardroom, right?
They left us this wonderful boardroom and a couple other conferences. This was good. But I have stories apparently from Seagate in that boardroom. This is a fair amount of our leads, I think, back in about maybe 2016. So yeah, great crew.
And a little look inside the departments. And then this is maybe a kind of more up-to-date crew shot. Yeah. Sarah still there. Chelsea. Hi, Chelsea.
Chelsea and Christy.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many staff do you employ typically?
We're between 300 and 500, depending on the time of year.
Yeah. And this time of year will be staffed up fully for the holidays, right?
Yes. This is a lot of recruiting going on right now, and and has been, and it's been definitely an interesting year for all that. It's difficult to anticipate, but we're fortunate in that there we weren't. We had issues, of course, with COVID and restrictions, and for months, California was the first state to go shelter in place, and I had to look it up.
What does that mean?
What is shelter in place anyway? And then next morning we were basically shut down for a little while, and then we were able to stay open with minimal staff and be able to keep up for a while. Those are some amazing days for everybody.
Yeah, that was huge for us. Obviously, yourself and our other partner labs were all closed for a period back in sort of March, April, and I just have to give a huge thanks to you and the whole team there at Bayphoto for the incredible work that you did, because obviously while you were closed, we were still feeding you orders. Our system was still operational, just constantly, day after day, feeding orders into a lab that was closed. So when you reopened and were able to get that skeleton staff back in there, obviously they had a huge backlog to get to, and we weren't quite sure what that was going to mean for our customers. Boy, did you turn that around quick. I mean, it was only a matter of days and we were back up to speed, had fulfilled all those back orders. So a huge thank you from our customers, from everyone here at SmugMug, to the entire team at Bayphoto. That was an incredible effort.
That was an incredible effort. And our team, we kept about, we just went through and kept about 70 people, our main, leadership team. And of course, anybody that could work remote, customer service, IT, HR, finance, of course, did all of that. And but we were able to continue producing work. And at first it died down and the work started to pick up again, but we were able to produce it. And we did a few things to be able to stay somewhat open. So when we were fully open again, we weren't as backlogged as we could have been. But amazing effort from a lot of people who just went all out on our team. And well, just like everybody else in the world, it'd be a great story if everybody else didn't have the same story. It was just such an effort on everybody in the world's part, really.
Wasn't unique to you, but what was maybe a little bit more unique to yourself was just not long after getting back up to speed and finding some kind of normality. Unfortunately, you had to close again, right? You were affected by the California fires for a short period. Is that correct?
We were, and that was an interesting day. And so the fires were maybe 5 miles away from us, and they started shutting down and evacuating until eventually we were like on the border, evacuated us, and that was a major, complete shutdown for a week. And again, staff pulled together, and we were able to just work really hard, and weekends get caught up in a relatively short amount of time. There's some things that are difficult to get caught up on 100%, but for the most part, that was another just amazing effort. It's just thinking about it,
And an amazing effort by the team, but and like our own team, many of whom were personally affected by the fires. Not just was their place of work closed, but they were evacuated from their own homes and stuff. So yeah, a huge debt of gratitude to everybody that pulled through, and let's hope we don't have to deal with that again.
Yeah. We were, nobody lost their home, thank heavens, but some people are like, 3 doors away, house. Yeah. It was really kind of random, but a lot of people were away from their homes for quite some time before they could get back. So a difficult period, and mostly in the past now. There's still some effect, but mostly for people personally. So yeah.
We unfortunately did have one member of staff who lost their home, and a few that were, like the fire was in the garden, was in the plot, but didn't make it to the house. So yeah, our heart goes out to those people affected, and hopefully they can get back on their feet very, very quickly. And let's hope it doesn't come knocking again. So, and you talk about getting back up to speed. But it's not like you can just walk into a modern day lab and just turn them on and get back printing. There's a lot of work that I guess goes into calibrating and getting the machines back up to speed. Is that right?
Yes, we're fortunate enough to be able to have, 1 or 2, 3 people during that time be in the lab to kind of keep the lights on and keep things going. And we'd have to go through the, well, we have a lot of equipment. They just, it's just a safety issue. So we were able to kind of keep the lights on, let's say, and all the orders are flowing, and we're, making sure all that is running along with the people that were remote, of course. And then, so when we got up to speed, we were able to go full bore into production, not shortly after it was lifted. And we had pretty good idea it was going to be a few hours before it was lifted. We had a pretty good idea that was going to happen. So, wow, it's just crazy memories. Reliving it now, it's like, it's scaring me.
Yeah. Now that you've got the time to think about how crazy it was, it's probably a bit more mind-boggling now. At the time, you're kind of dealing with it all, and you're busy managing it and dealing with it. But now, with the kind of freedom of hindsight to look back on it, has been a crazy year, and we're certainly not out the woods yet. There's a long way to go. 2020 might be about to end, but normality isn't coming back anytime soon. But hopefully it does, and I can't wait to travel and get back and come visit you at the lab and see some of the cool new things that are happening. But what I thought we could talk about now is some of the amazing work that we've been talking about that you do, and maybe showcase some of showcase the reason why we partner with Bay Photo. And for anybody that knows SmugMug, we only partner with the best. We expect the best, and we want to offer the best to our customers. And when we were looking for a pro lab to partner with back in 2008, the entire community said to us, has to be Bay Photo. And it's been the best decision I think the company ever made, was to work with you, because the work is phenomenal.
Yeah, thank you. And it's been great to be a partner with SmugMug in 2008, 2009. That area, there was a major partner for us, and I've always been very thankful of the opportunity and the confidence that SmugMug had in us at that time. And so we do everything we can to go all out wherever we can, of course.
No, we appreciate it. And as I said, the reason we wanted to partner, and the reason everybody told us it had to be Bay, is the foundation of everything we do, just the quality of the work. And it starts with loose prints, right? Much of the work we do is with your photographic prints, and you do all types of paper for us. Even on traditional paper, there's quite a lot of choice we can have here, yeah?
Yeah, many choices on the paper, metallic and luster, which is of course a standard, wedding and portrait work, and large prints. We go up to 50-inch prints now, so and so those are pretty large sizes, and we can also do for textures on them. So especially for again, wedding and portraits, different textures available on the prints, different mounting options, standouts, and so on. So a fair bit of options for photographic prints.
Yeah, and what's great is when a customer goes to their SmugMug site, either the owner or the photographer's customers go to their SmugMug gallery and buy a photo paper. They then have the option to have lots of extras added to that. Some of these finishes, some of the coverings that you put on them, frames, and we'll showcase some of those as we go through these photographs. A nice comment just came in there from Suzette Allen, and she said, yes, they are awesome, best quality. Thanks, Suzette. We know that. We definitely know that, and it's proven time and time again just how incredible the work is. So as I say, lots of finishes. This little image showcasing probably some of the paper types and some of the edges, and as well as some of the mounting options that we have for the images, yeah?
Yeah, that's a standout mounts, is I think what we're showing mostly there. And just it's about an inch, just ready to hang, really lightweight, except for the bamboo one. And again, just ready to hang on most of these on these standouts.
Yep. And we mentioned, photo paper, but we also offer quite a selection of fine art paper with you now as well, which is a huge area over the last few years, being able to get top quality fine art paper printed of your images.
Yeah, so currently we have 6 or 7 different paper types, and we just hand selected it from different manufacturers: Moab, Canson, Epson, Breeding Color, and I'm sure we'll be doing others as we go forward.
Yeah, a lot of photographers have their own preference, and it's incredible just how a fine art paper can add to the dimension of a photograph, just with the surface, and the fact that we can do these relatively simply nowadays and quickly and with such high quality. It's just an incredible part of the industry, fine art paper now.
Yeah, digital has opened up so much in terms of what's capable, what's possible, everything from direct to canvas and all this fine art paper with these beautiful papers, and with just a lot we do with it, and so much possible, and it seems to be increasing all the time.
Yeah. Some of the edging here that you can get with some of the mounting options that we offer. Tell us a little bit about this product.
Yeah, actually, that is the standout right there.
That's
the standout mount. So that's basically foam that has an edge on it. So we actually cut that foam in-house and then put the edging. And so you have silver edging. There's a little wood, white, black, and at the bottom you see the bamboo one. And we could do those on regular photographic prints with a lot of different surfaces, as well as the inkjet, the fine art papers.
So the photographs mounted onto the standout foam, and then you wrap this edge with one of these finishes.
Yeah, actually, the edges is put on at first, then the print goes on. At the edges are trimmed. Yeah, that's another one that's the ready to hang option.
Yeah. Cool. Let's move on. This looks like some of the fine art paper that we were talking about. And then some more products here. We have to stop on this image and talk about metal. Metal prints has been a huge growth area for the industry over the last few years, and I've visited your metal department, and it's quite an incredible process. The metal printing, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. We got into metal pretty much very close to when we launched with SmugMug about 2009, and saw it, loved it, and just went full bore into it, and so good for so many different purposes, and anything from landscape along with different mounting options, and so on with it. But landscape for portraits, sports work, it's just across the board. A lot of people found a lot of uses for metal, and we love to produce it, and we put a lot of effort and focus on metal, of course.
Yeah, it really is it's like hanging a high definition TV on your wall when you see a metal print. It's incredible, and it's so durable, water resistant. Even the fixings are just a great way to have something that does great in all environments, whether it's in bathrooms or high humidities. It's quite an incredible product.
Yes, and then the surfaces, there's the high gloss, which it looks kind of three-dimensional because it's almost like behind something. And then there's the matte or satin paper, or satin metal, which is portraits, and then a semi-gloss is kind of in between the two, and which is a great option for just in between the surfaces. We actually, that we call that a mid-gloss.
Yeah, a lot of people love the high def for landscapes, but obviously it does have quite a reflective surface when it's the full gloss, and having the ability to have different sheens. The mid gloss or the sheen is great for different types of genres, different photography, and all your products come ready to hang. So any customer buying anything straight out of SmugMug and Bay Photo, as soon as they get it, it comes with everything they need to put it straight on the wall. Right,
and we try to expand those options as we can as well. We want to be careful with what we offer, but what we do, and but yeah, many of the products most of the products on SmugMug are ready to hang.
Yep. These are interesting. This is acrylic, yeah?
Yeah, that's a metal print behind acrylic. So there's the post to hold it together. So it's another new interesting look for that. So it's an acrylic, but it's not actually bonded to the acrylic. The metal print is not bonded to the acrylic.
Yep. Yeah, and it stands out from the wall on those fixings. Very contemporary. Little desk frame option here with metal again.
Yes, yeah. Those are not really good big sizes, but I think we go up to like 8x10 with them, and that's so that's another popular thing for smaller and prints that sit on a desk, and sometimes you could do both. You could either hang them or do this with them. That's very popular.
Yeah, and it's a very popular holiday gift item if you're looking for ideas, which we'll talk about in a moment. And then what's great is in the shopping cart process with ourselves is once you get into the shopping cart and you've picked a print, then as we mentioned earlier, lots of options to choose frame types and add mats to your purchases. Of course, we've got to mention canvas. It's a huge part of the photo world these days. It has been for a long time.
It has been, and there's a lot of multiple ones there. That bottom one, we don't do that corner like that anymore, but that's photographic. But the you could wrap edges and do a lot of different. Well, everybody's very familiar with canvas, and of course we can frame those as well. So and usually in float frames.
Yep. Canvas hanging on the wall. This would be the float frame where it just sits off the wall.
That's a thin wrap. So what this is, it's a piece of foam, and the print is wrapped around a thin wrap, and then this black paper is put on the back, then he's mounting. That's another lightweight, ready to hang option on, we call that a thin wrap, which we developed as we were making exhibits for albums for a trade show. We just stumbled upon this product, which went up a really good seller with a lot of different paper types, combinations, including the one there looks like canvas.
Yeah. And then no desk should be without one of these. These are acrylic blocks, yeah?
Yeah, very popular, great gifts again, but those are acrylic blocks with the photo with a optically clear adhesive is mounted onto the back of the acrylic, and you're just looking right through it. That's a 1-inch block, various sizes. Another very popular item.
Yeah. Yeah, some great items there, and especially something like the desk prints or the acrylic blocks. Very important at this time of year to make sure you have these options available. So maybe we could talk about, holiday season, selling season, crazy season, whatever you want to call it, that we're heading into. We've been talking over the last few weeks about how to, set yourself up for success. Be ready for the holiday season and be prepared for it. Do you have any, words of wisdom, tips and tricks that you could maybe share with our customers, specifically around this time of year?
Yeah, well, of course, the people that have been affected the most with COVID, of photographers, have been portrait, wedding, sports, as well as photographers who have physical galleries. Some of that is coming back a little bit, and it's slowly come back, so that's a good thing to see. But photographers are taking this time to educate themselves. I know it's very difficult at this time. There's financial pressures, all sorts of pressures. You hear a lot of different stories, people that have spaces that they lease, and some landlords are better than others. You just have to keep working with that. People are updating their walls, of course, and updating their price list to make sure that just taking this time to educate, fix things that they're doing to have a better presentation and to understand the in-person sales over Zoom. Is working a little bit. Of course, SmugMug galleries, anything that's online has been working pretty well. There have been people ordering, especially on the landscape photographers who have good websites are doing okay. And but there's also, for the portrait photographer, there are some weddings coming back a little bit, but things like you could do outdoor portrait sessions in parks or outside homes, like on porches, etc. Giveaways you could do, promote previous sessions and promote some images there. People are definitely ordering images, and family and home are very important to people right now. And so photographers can take advantage of a way to contact their past clients to encourage some print sales through them. That's always good. And again, the socially distanced, the mini sessions are definitely starting to happen more and more.
It's interesting. I mean, obviously, with lockdown, the pandemic, the stay-at-home orders, we've all been spending a lot more time within the four walls that we call home, and a lot of people have been investing in their homes, refreshing the walls. So it is a great time to be offering prints, and especially to those past clients. I don't think there's anybody better you can market to than someone you've already worked with or someone who's already bought work from you, right?
Absolutely. And those people, they want to support you, if people can, because, this pandemic has affected some just across the board. It almost seems random, where if you're in this industry, too bad. If you're in industry, you're doing great. And a lot of people that are doing it, they understand that, and people are willing to, to spend basically, and they understand that there's a need. So your customers love you, and remember that photography's been around a long time, and through all the changes, we go from back in the day from the 4x5 sheet film to 120 to 35 millimeter to digital, all these different things that happen over the years, all these recessions, photography always persists. And because it's just the way that it hits you, what it does to you, and it's a record keeper, not going away, not going away. So, hang in there, take advantage of this time, and know that when it comes back, I think there's going to be a lot of pent up demand, and people do want to support you. So reach out to your existing clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Existing clients, and we've spoke previously on this show and in our own marketing at SmugMug about ways to use our product to reach out to those existing customers. We have coupon code builder within our site where you can offer those previous clients discounts very easily within our product, and they've proven that they love you, they love your work, they're willing to spend on your work. So perfect time of year to be reaching out to those existing customers and just giving them a little incentive to get maybe that product that they haven't got before, or those extra images that they maybe didn't buy previously. So a fantastic time to be reaching out to those customers with things like coupon codes that you can build right within your SmugMug account. And there's been a lot of life-changing events that we've spoke about, and especially things like the fires. People have lost everything, but what hopefully they still have are those memories that they have stored in places like SmugMug. Photography is, as you say, is not going to go away. But when we have events like we've had this year, sometimes it proves it's the most special, material thing that you have are those photographs, the legacy, those heirlooms of your photography.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. James Lafferty asks a question. I'm going to pull it up here. Larry asks, where do you see this industry heading in the next 10 years? Can you see that far forward in your crystal ball, Larry?
Well, like I said, photography has been around a long time, and the need of photography has been around a long time, and that is not going to change. 10 years is right around the corner. And I think that once we get out of this pandemic, there's going to be a boom. I think for professional photographers, people understand the value of their families and preserving memories. I just, I don't know about a technical standpoint, I don't see that changing too dramatically, but from just people's needs for professional photography, I just don't see that changing. There's nothing in my radar that say there's going to be something else to replace this this medium, and which is more ingrained into people than we even realize. Yes, there's cell phones, there's a lot of ways to share, but professional photography is professional photography, and I just I see maybe it won't be a huge growth period, but plateau with slight growth would be my prediction for professional photography.
Yeah, it definitely, it's been a rough year. It's going to take a long time to recover. But I honestly believe people think more about photography now than they've ever done, especially professional photography, when we're taking probably more pictures than we've ever taken at any time in history, as you say, with our mobile devices and, the fairly low cost of entry that, to get into photography. It's still, when you see a professional photo session done and produced on, pro lab work, produced on these incredible products that we can get, it's head and shoulders above what people see on a day-to-day basis. And, after this year, people are going to want that on their walls more than ever. So I hope that this industry sticks in there and survives this rough road that, we're currently in, and there's maybe some time to get out of. But if you can hang in there, there's definitely good times ahead, because I definitely believe we're going to be more valued for our services now than we have been for a long time. So thanks for that question, James. That was a great lead to a conversation of the industry. And you say 10 years, that it's a blink of an eye. It's been 12 years we've been working with Larry and his team, and it feels like yesterday. So maybe the question should be, will you be retired in 10 years? When are you taking a break? Yeah.
Or you talk, yeah, for anybody, you mean, yeah.
Well, I was talking to you, Larry, but
Yes. Well, I love what I do. So,
yeah,
what I do and, is a break. It's, obviously we have a great team and, just really want to thank you to our entire Bay Photo team that does what they do every day. And, so like I say, I love what I do, and I don't really see any reason to end. I don't, obviously a little bit less, but it's anyway.
Yeah, it'll be good. What's your thought on the future of conferences and trade shows? Because that's when you and I normally get to hang out. Do you think we're going to have an opportunity to hang out at a trade show in the near future?
Depends what you mean by near future. I don't know about 2021, but certainly in 2022. And you really realize, trade shows are difficult for us. It's a big process, and it's fun, it's exciting, and and I go to trade shows too. It's super hard work, but I go to trade shows, look at equipment and so on. And, you miss seeing it, and there's things you just don't know. Back in the day, you'd call somebody would send you a brochure, right? Now at least you have the internet, so you could see things a lot better. So there are tools on the internet now. So they will be back, and people will attend. And vaccine rolls out. That's the thing about this pandemic is we've had recessions, but nothing where you have to physically social distance, so it's a little definitely different, but we will get through it as as photographers and as human beings.
Yeah, this year more than ever, trade shows, they seem so foreign. The number of hands you shake and people you interact with, and just the concept of doing a trade show would be a physical trade show this year would be absolutely out of the question, and probably well into next year as well. We typically come back from trade shows hoping we don't get sick on a regular year, but this year was crazy. In fact, the last time I traveled was to WPPI back in February, which is probably the last time I saw you and the team. And miss having the community together, miss having the networking opportunities and the ability to rub shoulders. So hopefully we can get back to that in the near future. But for now, we should let you get back to the day job, because your day's really just got started in the West Coast. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come do this, Larry. It's been so good talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for the opportunity to speak, and thanks everybody watching, and always hope to see you soon, and just hang in there and get through it all.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as we can, hopefully you can all get back out to either visit the lab or visit the team at a trade show. Again, Larry, if you can just pass on a huge thank you to the entire team at Bay Photo on behalf of SmugMug and our customers for the incredible effort they do on a day-to-day basis, but more than ever for this year, where they've just went above and beyond to keep our customers happy and ultimately their customers delighted with the products. A huge thank you from everybody at SmugMug for that.
Absolutely, thank you, and I definitely will convey that.
Yeah. I really appreciate it if you'd pass on those comments. To those of you who are watching, thank you for spending the time today listening to Larry and myself. Of course, one request from me is hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell notification. That way you'll be notified whenever we do another episode of SmugMug Live. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. I hope you've enjoyed the insight into a little bit of the history of Bay Photo. And, a huge thank you to Larry for spending some time with us. Larry, stay safe, look after yourself, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you so much for your time today.
All right. Thank you all so much. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks. Everybody, stay safe, and we'll see you back here next time on SmugMug Live. But for now, goodbye. Thanks very much.